Hello and welcome to Real Magic Review. My name is Steve Faulkner and thanks for coming, or thanks for watching it if you haven't come. But if you haven't come here and you're watching it later, do come and join us on the live streams. We want to get more people on the live stream. So if you don't know, if you do know people, not if you don't know people, if you do know people, other humans, tell them to come along and watch it, and then we get more comments, questions, and it's a lovely thing. I think it's nice to connect with people. I tend to be quite isolated in the week at the moment because I'm working on different stuff, which is cool. Lots of exciting things. So talking of which, cardmagiccourse.com is developing. Go and check that out, because now we're getting guest lecturers. So tonight we have Vinny Sagoo after this. Coming to do a lecture. We had Pete Wardell last month. Next month we've got Fanique, which I'm really excited about. And it's just going to be happening every month, and every week we have live sessions. So what we do, when the live sessions happen the next week, we can debrief if people have got questions. And we do sessions on all manner of things. So come and join us. And if you haven't got the gold membership for that, you still get the live sessions to watch later. So you can join if you get the gold. If you don't want to and you just want to watch it afterwards, you get silver membership for $9.99 a month, which is a bargain. So have a look at that, cardmagiccourse.com. If you like this, you will love that. Right, and like and subscribe, of course. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and the notifications button. Thanks. Right, oh, look, got some comment. I like it when, it's lovely, because it's just a really, I've got this new software and it all just pops up. Look, let me try this to see if this works. I haven't tried this yet. Oh, well, how do I do this? Hang on. Oh, where's it gone? Look. That's what Mexi Mex says. I'm really pleased with that. It should disappear. I normally avoid live streams, but I mean, thanks, Mexi Mex. You got your face on it, look. And I'm flattered, mate. I do as well, because I can't really make them. You know, when they happen, I'm just happen to be there. It's great, but I've missed so much cool stuff going on. Ben L's got some interesting stuff coming on with his over Halloween weekend, which I'm really excited about. What's it called? It's all about sort of knuckle busting moves, which I think is great. So I'm going to try and watch some of that, and if not, watch it afterwards. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks very much, Gary. I'm going to put all of them up there just because I can. I'm excited. I'm even going to put Matthew. Is that what we said it was, wasn't it? Say hi there. Snapped your quad tendon in your leg, mate. How did you do that? Oh, no excuse. You got to work on. You got to do what I did when I broke my ribs on my shoulder, and have a YouTube search of what is it? Maybe Steve Faulkner skiing, snowboarding accident in Bulgaria. Maybe it's under that, and you'll see I made a video of my snowboarding accident, and that was kind of the thing that got me back into magic. But yeah, so, oh yeah, that must hurt, man. How did you do it? Tell me how you did it. Magic Man Pete, hey Pete, how you doing? Good to have you here. Matthew, sorry that I haven't been able to join any of your live events for quite a few weeks. No, so this is what's happening on the course. I know it's not really the place to talk about it, but at the moment we have live events on Thursdays at 6. After January, I'm going to be doing some more one-off stuff on different days of the week for people in different parts of the world. Basically, January, I'm just concentrating on this channel and that course, and that's pretty much it. I had a close-up gig last night, which I really enjoyed, actually, but I'm kind of going to knock them on the head at some point and concentrate on shows. Well, that was good last night, actually, just having a bit of a waffle. I made myself try some new stuff last night because it wasn't a social distance gig, but they wanted me to be very mindful of doing too much contact stuff. And I ended up doing things like book testing close up, which I don't usually do. And it went really, really well. And it was really nice just to have that book and not have loads of props and cards. And I did some gambling stuff. I also, which we'll get onto in a minute, did the force focus thing at a gig last night. And it went super, super well. And interestingly, and this is always the litmus test, I showed my daughter and she was like, she did that response where there's not a response, it's like shock. She couldn't get her head around it. That's really interesting to me. If that happens, I know there's something in it, and it's not, because she's seen everything. She films here with me and stuff, so she's seen so much. And when she sort of goes, what? You think, right, there's something here. So yeah, I'm really interested. We'll talk about that. But ask any questions you want. Pete Wardell was awesome. He did a talk for us, and that was great, wasn't it? All about performance. Hi, John. Julien, nice to have you here. I know I just mentioned it. Oh, you're like me, Julian. If I do a typo, doesn't matter what the typo is, I have to then correct it. I can't bear not to. You just put off. Yeah, the old if instead of of is a classic, isn't it? And the ones that replace swear words and stuff like that. No, I have to. It just yeah. So I'm with you. Long time since watching live. Hi, John. I normally avoid them as I watch everything at 2 times speed, and you can't do that with live streams. You can't. And do you listen to audiobooks like that? Some people do, don't they? They listen to them at 2 or 3 times and podcasts, which kind of makes sense as long as it doesn't sound comical. Slip down, right, so you... so right, so you've snapped your quad tendon. Quad tendon, yeah, that's a big one, isn't it? Slip down a grassy bank while watching a game of rugby. You you literally. So I'm not laughing at your accident, Gary. I'm not. But the fact that you had an accident watching a game of rugby, probably more severely than everybody playing that game, is in itself not funny. But the context is quite funny that you had a. I nearly had a juggling accident the other day. I really hurt myself juggling, but there was no lasting. Used to be a teacher, yeah. Well, Julian, I didn't, and I still, it's that OCD thing. I have to spend, because I put typos nearly every text message I write, so it just becomes a massive thing. Anyway, this is going to be a waffle, isn't it? Let's do some comments. Like I said, I haven't been posting massive amounts, so there are a few things, but interesting, I think, because Trio, right, by the Other Brothers. Isn't it interesting how you perceive these certain things? Why isn't it? Yeah, there you go. So I reviewed that, and there's a comment here that says these guys have released so much garbage. That's very nice for you to apologise. I don't even seriously consider anything that they come out with anymore. I think that was kind of my positive review of that, and I don't think it's a terrible trick. I don't think it's a very good trick. But my thing going into it was, I think, subconsciously just that. The last few things have either been controversial. I don't think it was an awful trick, actually. I just thought it was very disappointing, and the whole thing, that was what people were expecting and what they got. But again, it wasn't a great trick. And when Abstract Effect and the Other Brothers first started doing stuff, like Bear and stuff like that, it's a great trick, that is. And they were some really interesting stuff. And when Abstract Effects first came out, the first couple of things... what was the Balance one that was like the mini version of Balance? What was that called? It's going to do my head in. But, you know, they'd really not... and it was really promising, and it kind of all went a bit... kind of felt like they were just banging stuff out, basically. So when I got Trio, I up and it actually all did what it said, and it was very nicely done. But looking back on it, I don't think it's a very good trick. Again, I think certain people could make that, and for kids, for family dues and stuff like that, I think it could be fun and kids could really like it. But there is that problem of 3 different ways of getting to the same thing, and it's all a bit... When you review stuff, you can't see the wood for the trees sometimes, and basically there's so much being released that when a trick kind of does what it says it does, you kind of go, great. It's kind of like watching a movie. If you watch a string of movies that are really... like there was a... It's not the same one. Before the Marvel movies, really, every summer blockbuster, and I'm a big movie fan, was really bad. It was kind of, there was a string where it was like, was it Ronald or Roland Emmerich? All those kind of films that were kind of really massive effects, but just no plot, no character. You couldn't hook into anything. You just kind of left you cold. And when sort of you watch one good summer blockbuster, you're like, oh, that was great, because it was just kind of one in so many, and it felt a bit like that. And don't get me wrong, there's been some good stuff coming out, but from the Other Brothers, and I think, you know, look at it, it's a fine trick, but it is very flawed, and like Mexi said in it, not a huge fan of this one personally. I'm sure there are many who will love it, but the animal bit is too clunky. And you're right, it is clunky. And Dan says, watch the performance, and it didn't really wow me. It's a good effect, but felt like something I could put together. And I said, yeah, there is a bit of that. There are some lovely things in it. I do like that bag thing just because of its simplicity, and I thought that's a really kind of looking just uncomplicated way of doing something quite convincing. And Dan corrected me, Grey Elephant in Denmark, that's the one, which I still think it's great, that thing. Just go to the, yeah, I really thought it was, yes, says Gary. Fat Fingers, I got Porky Fingers as well, you got them as well. Stasis, that's the one, Mexi. Thanks very much. I bought Summit 6 months ago and I still yet even to open the box. Yeah. I'll do a giveaway. I've got a spare one. I got sent 2 by accident, I think. So I'll give away a Summit soon. And from what some people said, it might you might get it and it might not be complete. But because a few of them did fall apart, didn't it? Bear is youthful, novelty revelation. Trio premise is okay, but easy to DIY. Yeah, so Bear, I'll tell you who uses Bear very well. Who was it again? That kind of Ben Hart. So I was want to say Ben Henley there. Ben Hart uses Bear very well in one of his routines. You just got to find the right stuff. I think that's the key. And he was talking to me about it, and I was trying it with coffee and stuff like that, and it didn't work. Yes, right, let's go on to... So that was pretty much it for Bear. Visible by Craig Petty. And don't forget, watch the interview with me and Luch, by the way. I know they're long, but you can watch it in bits. And I may start podcasting stuff, but it's just another thing for me to do, which I haven't got time to do. But yeah, I'm going to be interviewing a couple of more people soon, so that'll be good. So keep an eye on them. Right. So Visible, yeah, Visible. Visible was a long process, but great thing. I mean, I feel like I know loads about Invisible Deck now. I didn't know anything about it before other than the thing. Even the kids were impressed with the Cards Across routine. That is a really good routine, that Cards Across routine, and it's really simple to do, really magical. You know, easy to set up. You don't need 2 Invisible Decks. You can have it, but you can do it with a normal deck with a cross-cut force, and I think it's very strong, very easy, and just those cards appearing is great. And that's from Mark. I've been avoiding reading. Oh yeah, this from Mexi. You didn't get a review copy. That's a shame, isn't it? Now Tom said my fear is having spent a whole year locking down the Aronson stack, and Tom's part of the Card Magic course, and he really geeked out on it, got into it. I'll be adding new numbering system to mess with. There's not really a numbering system. There is in the Cy Stebbins project, obviously, that's come out, but it's with the Invisible Deck. There's no new numbering system. I know you're good at your maths, Tom, so it's. Yeah, you are. There's no memory work like that in it, really, in any of those routines, unless you use a mem deck in one of them, which you can use any mem deck. So that's all cool. And I know what you mean by, he says, I'm reaching max storage in my head. I've learned 2 tricks from the Fanique book, the code, recently, and I'm worried about learning another one because it's just every time one goes in, another one goes out, and I just can't retain them. But I think maybe that's normal. And Mr. Harmon just lets him know that, yeah, and there's that lovely way of doing Invisible Deck where you don't even have to do the maths, if maths was a problem. A lot of content from Gary. This is about Visible still, which, if you don't know, is the Invisible Deck project by Craig Petty. I also made the mistake of watching it all in one go, or at least it felt like clever routines though. I also particularly like the decks I received. They had a good adhesion. Yes, yeah, good point. I'm glad I read this. I forgot to mention this in the review. If you do get Visible, they have got 2 very good Invisible Decks in, and that's important because I've bought Invisible Decks before when I've said to myself I'm going to get into it. I don't, they aren't. The adhesion isn't very good, and you've got to kind of redo them. And I think you're right, that's a really good thing to point out. Like, again, I think everything that 1914 brings out is just really good. It's really good quality stuff. I really like their stuff, it's great. There was Chris, Mr. C Magic, taking a mickey out of my mistakes, which is good. I like that. I was talking that about someone the other day, how I like it when my friends can sort of there's that kind of, for want of a better word, not banter, but you can sort of take the mick out of each other. That's what I really enjoy. There's a bit of that goes on in the card course thing, and I think that's a problem with Magic sometimes. We all take ourselves a little bit too seriously, and we really shouldn't because of what we do, really, because well, human beings are preposterous anyway, but Magic's even more, which is why I love it. Right, false focus. Craig Petty's a legend like you, Steve. Looking forward to giving my Invisible Decks a new lease of life. Yeah, cool. And I recommend Luch's Penguin Lecture. I'm going to put that on the screen just because I can. There you go. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do that. I like it. I'm going to do another one in a minute, even if I've read them all out. Say stuff so I can put it on the screen, please. That's not offensive. Right, false focus. Let's have a look. Whoa, I started it. Don't want to start it. Oh yeah, Gary, I wanted to ask you about this quote. You've put a quote on there, and I googled that quote. What's it like performing with Monkey? That's not a monkey, that's a bear. I made myself laugh performing to the bear. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy doing that. And do you know what? Joking aside, I got this because I know David Williamson used to practice his top change with a load of cuddly toys everywhere. When you set up a video camera, right, it's really good to perform to a video camera because it almost feels like an audience. So it's kind of practice for performing. When I perform to that bear, it really does feel like practice, but easier when there's no one there. You know, when you rehearse to nobody, it's kind of really weird. Rehearsing to a cuddly toy, it's actually really good practice. There's a few takes. Actually, a few takes of me performing to the bear. So yeah, Gary, let us know what this Mex stuff. What's that about? Anyway, so what's saying? Yeah, so rehearsing with it's really good actually. It kind of makes you think about what you're saying. Not that I thought about what I was saying when I was doing that, but you know what I mean. I did a thing. There's on a website somewhere. There's an interview with me, and what it actually is, and it's not an interview with me. It's me being interviewed, looking like like you see those promo videos of people sort of answering questions. And you don't see who's answering questions, and you realise there's no one there. I had a mannequin. I had a mannequin's head on one of these stands that I was answering questions to, and it looks totally like I'm being interviewed. It's great. It's not a magic thing. It's a different thing that I had to put together. Great to see new reviews, Steve. This looks interesting. This is about force focus. I keep wanting to say Ford Focus. I wonder why you came out of it. Cause it's because good magic trick. Ford Focus, Ford Fiesta. This looks interesting, although I'm not sure if 100% chance of spectator cut into the card. Right, this is there's one routine on Force Focus, which wasn't the routine he made that for, but the Mirage routine, which is the one I performed at a gig last night, where you get the spectator to cut the pack, you put the card on the table, and then you say, right, have a look at a card going through the deck. They spot one going through, and then you say, right, have that card in your mind. You look through the deck. The card has vanished from the deck, which is great, and it's the card on there. So it's kind of like an open prediction kind of thing. I did that last night, and it's like I said with Gracie, it's really good, but it's not why he came out with it for the Zoom thing. And I realised on the review that I'd said it's really hard. Nobody's really interested in being, or they feel uneasy about being Magic spectators at the moment, so it's hard to get footage. And of course I could have done the Zoom one, but I don't know 4 people that I could have got on Zoom. I was going to do it, and I was just like, no, I'll just do that one because it's easier and talk about it with a bear. But on that, okay, there is an out for that. So if you're going to use that way of them cutting it, because I actually went wrong last night because I did it under light. I used a mark on that cut, if you know what I mean, and to see if they'd cut to the right place, and I couldn't see because the lighting had changed, and I just had to kind of wing it. And you can kind of there's different outs if you can't do that, which is totally fine as well. So if they don't cut to that, it doesn't at all ruin the trick, and he talks you through that. You got it in the post, Alan. That's good. Meximex, not really a fan of Mr. Negative. Yeah, God, it's fair enough. Okay, for stage, other options are better. Yeah, I don't think it takes, it's a deck of cards, isn't it? It's another deck of cards to carry around. But I would say, this gig last night, again, they wanted a bit of distance. They didn't want loads of people picking cards. They had a couple of people, but they didn't want everybody. So I did a multiple selection using, let me see if I can see myself. Using this control here, so they're all looking at cards, and I'm doing, you know what that one is, which is great, and a crimp, and multiple selection is great because nobody has to touch anything. And then I did that one, and I just thought that was, again, you didn't have to go near them, and yes, they cut the pack, but it was just minimising contact. They didn't want me kind of pickpocketing and things like that, or I was kind of getting super close. And I coin on hand, coin on the watch. I didn't do any of that stuff. So for certain situations, I think it's all good. And Alan, setup is a real head wrecker. I'm glad it wasn't just me. From what I've seen so far, I hope I can keep the interest as Richard is going through it a bit too quickly. Yeah, I thought that might have been just me, but I found that as well. It was super quick, and I was like, oh, you got to slow it down. I think it'd be quite handy for him to make another video because it's all online. Just slow it, or I like that. If you got a setup, just slow it down. Hold the camera on it. Let people process it. And then, and I know it's, when you know it really well, it's hard, isn't it? And that's the difficult thing with teaching, really. It's really empathizing with the person that's watching it. And even though it now seems simple to you, which it is once you've got it, actually, it is quite simple. But it's a little bit like I'm learning Excel at the moment, and I've always been terrible with it. I've never used it, and I find it really complicated. But now it's starting to click. I'm going, oh, of course it isn't. It's just that mental head state you get in when you learn something new and it seems very complicated. And I actually find that with a lot of tricks. I've talked about this before with Triumph, with the stuff I'm learning from the code at the moment. When you understand the trick, if you really take your time, and we talked about this on the course last week with Ascanio stages of practice, that assimilation, that sort of understanding, which isn't actually the assimilation, it's the first bit, but really understanding why things in a certain trick happen. And I think it's a really important part, and most of us go far too quickly past that bit, so we never really understand the trick or the fundamentals of a trick or a routine. And once you get that, then everything else sort of falls into place more. So I really recommend, and it's quite a new thing for me, to just sit at that, almost a boring bit sometimes, but it can actually be quite good fun, to mindfully sit at the beginning of a trick and just take your time to understand why that happens then. And then what happens is it's easier to remember, because you kind of know why things happen. It's not, you're not just following a set of meaningless instructions, which again I was with Triumph for ages. And slop shuffle, I did put slop shuffle on the course the other day, which is in the hands Triumph, one of the first tricks I learned. I didn't know why that happened for years. I couldn't understand how that worked. It's amazing. And now you do, you go, oh right, of course. And because of that, you kind of don't tend to get stuck. The bear nicely stole the show. Good, that's what I want. There's no ego in me anymore. Oh, just told you to say stuff. Yeah. Yeah, good. I want the bear to steal the show. Good point about practice. I've got a box full of puppets. I'll give them a few performances. Yeah, do get that. It's great. It's like a little bit. Have you seen what's the Scorsese movie about stand-up? Oh my gosh. Mental Block, great film, when he performs to a sort of photo of an audience every night down in his basement. What is it? What's that Scorsese movie called? Someone remind me. I could Google it, but I'm not going to. Oops, sorry about that. I've got to have that on. Let me just. I've got on airplane mode. Why is that doing that? Oh, it's because it's on Wi-Fi. David, I'm going to put that on the screen because I can. Hang on. On the fence but false focus, but you've convinced me to pick up. Great to hear tricks not ruined if they don't cut to the card. Yeah, okay. And again, look at what that trick does. I think it's a really lovely method, actually. It is very cheeky. And I think you'll like it. False focus on Prop Dog Live, but your review was helpful in persuading me. What did Prop Dog say about it, I wonder, actually? King of Comedy, thank you, Mexi. Yeah, great film. And from Mijn account, King of Comedy. Yeah, that's a great film, isn't it? So that's all the comments. If you want me to talk about anything else, there's maximum of 7 minutes left, but if not, I shall go in a minute. Please do tell people about this. We'll try and build up because these are great fun, aren't they? I really enjoy them. And I will. So on the forums, if you want to mention it, that'll be lovely. And I'm happy to. And I am happy to talk quite honestly about. Oh, good. I'm glad they recommended it. I am happy to talk about anything, from the profession, there's nothing I'm kind of embarrassed. You know what I mean? Some people don't like talking about certain things. I'm kind of happy to share anything. So if anybody's got any questions about anything or something that they'd like me to talk about on these shows, you can email me on either steve@cardmagiccourse.com or steve@stevefaulkner.com and ask me if you've got any questions, or you can comment, of course, underneath this, and that's kind of the point. So next week, I'll tell you what's happened this week. It's been a really weird. It's been so weird because I was with someone that was positive, that tested positive after I was with them, and I was convinced I was going to get it because we were quite close. And then, so all week I've been waiting to get COVID. And I've got a bit of health anxiety, and I'm one of those people that if I get a symptom, I go, oh, that's it. So every headache, every bit of tiredness, I'm kind of like, is this it? And because I'm going in London to see Harry Potter play this weekend with my son, And today was the last day you could like cancel and reschedule your tickets. But this is day 5 since I was with this person, and I'm now worried that, because apparently if you get COVID, it's from day 5 to 10 is the sort of hotspot. That if I get it now, I'm stuck. I'll lose all my money for the hotel and everything. And if I get it in London, it means I'm going to have to stay there. So I'm trying not to think about it, but I'm not very good at not thinking about stuff like that. Review the new Card Magic book by Eugene Berger. I'd love to. I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not getting. Nobody's sending me stuff at the moment. But actually, that's a lie. People are sending me stuff. Independent people are sending me stuff, which is good. And I think it's because I concentrated on independent stuff for quite a while, especially through lockdown, because I wanted, to sort of help people out in that win-win. That I haven't received anything from Murphy's for forever. Vanishing Ink send me stuff, and they're always supportive, but I'm not getting a great deal of stuff now. So, and that's, or maybe I should get on it and start contacting people. But yeah, but hopefully I've got the Ashley Wynn book coming. But what I really want to do is I'm not pushing for that, because I think it would be quite nice to start to review some of this stuff. Some of the stuff that we've got, and like I said, Phoenix the Code. Some great stuff in there that I'm really enjoying, really enjoying, and that would be good to review, So it doesn't all have to be all the new stuff, but I know that's a lot of what people are interested in. So I will do what I can with that. But yeah, Card Magic book, that sounds really interesting, because what that'll be is really good plots, won't it? And Mihao, I've been waiting for you at the post office, Steve. There isn't, Mihao. It's right here, mate. I have got stuff to review, but the thing with books, they take me. See, the things I've had to review recently have taken absolutely ages. Like you can't review the Craig Petty 4.5 hour thing, because I've got to watch it, but I've got to really understand it and then learn it to be able to talk about it. So that took ages. And what was it before? Oh, the Refractor. Well, that's taken like a year. All these things that have taken, which I'm not complaining about, but there's been no quick kind of have a look at that quickly and review it kind of things. And even the masterclass lives and stuff like that. I really want to watch them properly, even if it's one session, and write notes. And I'm not a quick reviewer. Let's get this so it doesn't white out. There you go, Michał Koczałek. Have I did that? I remember getting you to Plots and Methods 2, more Plots and Methods. But are these difficult, Michał? Or are they? Because I know that they're not self-working, are they? But they're kind of. I remember finding the last ones great. I loved them, but I remember it took me quite a long time to remember. But I love your stuff, and it's great. So I look forward to that. I will be reviewing that. That's next. I've got Curious Weaving, Ryan Murray, about the Pharaoh Shuffle, which is interesting, and really well written actually. I started reading it. I haven't read much of it, but Wayne Goodman's got a weddings book and performing for weddings. So it's really lovely. They've got these books to review, but they all take ages, don't they? So I'll be working through them, and you never know, if I have to quarantine in London and spend about £1,000 on a hotel to stay there, I'll have them with me. So there you go. Right, and they need to update the status. Who does? Do an Anton interview chat. Yes. That would be good, wouldn't it? I bet he's super busy at the moment. Peter doing America's Got Talent. It's mostly sleight of mind where you need to remember some things. Yeah, that'll take me about a year then. Don't tell me that. I sometimes have to remember that there's a dupe on the top of the pack. That's a bit much for me. No, I'm really joking. Right. I'll put that up there just because I can. Your thoughts on stacked decks would be interesting. I'll tell you what my thoughts on stacked decks are. I love them. I love going back to Mnemonica. I still don't really do much with it. I've really got I think a lot of people like that. It's really exciting learning it, but when it comes to it, I just get the cards out and start kind of improvising, usually around some sort of ambitious card routine when I'm performing. But I really want to do some Memdeck stuff. Like I know Mnemonica, and there were some lovely tricks I remember sort of half learning from Buena Vista Shuffle Club. And hey, Dennis from Canada, how you doing? And yeah, so I mean, I think it's just miraculous, isn't it? What you can do with, and I've learned so much with it. I learned half of the mnemonica book once, just forgot it all straight away because I didn't use it. I think Memdex are great for like parlour shows, one-man shows, and stuff like that, aren't they? But I take it out and close up with me, forget what I'm doing, and shuffle it, and go, oh, well, that's me gone. Nervously shuffle, then I'm done. Right, have a good one, everybody. Thanks very much for watching. Check out cardmagiccourse.com. Please do like and subscribe. Please share it. Tell your friends. I'll be here next week. And there's loads of weird stuff going on at the moment. So keep your eye on those notifications. And I might pop up and do some spontaneous live ones. Pitt Hartling's book on MD. Yes, Pitt Hartling's is a genius. I love his stuff. Again, some great stuff in there. Right, take care, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Let me remember what button to press. It's that one. See you later.